a lot of what Steve does, he kind of has to go for a lot of these reads because he is so much slower. He doesn't really get to impose his will and rush down the opponent because of his speed. But what he does get to do is basically build a trap or a fortress around him and make the other person figure him out. And if they're wrong, then you get to basically destroy them. And since you get to dictate the positioning of the blocks, you can set up situations that will create repetitive patterns within, I guess, the scope of your playing without with other players, right? So as far as fighting, let's say you fight 100 different players, when you set up 3 blocks high, you could say 70% of players jump over this. So I'm not going to stand on the ground and try and F smash them. I'm going to jump and meet them in the air with a call out as a back air. So this is where some trust has to, or some believability has to come into play for you to say, I know not everyone's going to jump, but I'm going to test my luck here. That's what a read is, or a call out. And I'm going to believe that if I do this, you're probably going to jump. I will say 85% of what we're doing, if I don't know what you're going to do, I wait. Or if I think you're going to do something, I have to just go for it. If I think you're going to roll from the ledge, I have to just dash back and up smash because I believe that's what the average player would do. Or if I think you're going to jump, I have to just jump in back air. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm still doing it because it's a call out.
Each player is different. Each one can go for a different option, and your goal is to cover and see which one they're going to go for, basically.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to have a baseline as well, too, like I said. You know what? Let's just get into this, and I'll show you something. I'll show you what I mean. As far as the average person would do a situation, whatever it is. So I'm going to do a combo to you, and you don't actually have to do what I'm going to say, but we'll pretend a little bit here. So if I do this combo, right? So let's see. I'll go like this. Right here. As I'm getting to the ground, the average person right there, as you're falling out of my nair drag down, the average person would air dodge, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait on the ground and see where you air dodge to, and then I'm going to try and get another grab, because the average person would air dodge. If I just did that exact combo and I throw an up tilt, it's going to miss. So if I do, like, let's say up throw, IDJ, up air, nair drag down, up tilt as soon as I land, it's not true. You can air dodge out of that. So like I said, since the average person would try and get out of that in the same way, I'm not going to shield, assuming I'm going to get hit. And I'm not going to jump, assuming that you're going to jump. I'm assuming that you're going to air dodge because it just makes logical sense to get out of a crazy combo with an air dodge. So if you do that, there's a couple other things I could do as well too. If I do the combo, which I don't think I can do at this percent, kind of. If I'm on the left side of the stage or the right side of the stage, if I'm doing it to the wide side of the stage, I should say, I'm assuming that you're going to air dodge away from me. So to the right, if we're doing the combo from this side, right? If I started it right here, you're probably going to go to the right, right? Something like this, drag down, you're going to air dodge to the right, if you're going to air dodge at all. And now from here, I said the average person does what they're going to do, which is air dodge. If, for whatever reason, you don't air dodge, I'm going to take that in to say they have a habit of, let's say, attacking to get out of combos, or double jumping to get out of combos. Or in the rare situation that could potentially happen too, is I do the combo, and instead of air dodging to the right, you air dodge to the left. And I say, in this situation, you have a habit of trying to cross me up. And I'm going to try and look for this in the future as well. So let's say if I, let me just get you a little bit higher here. Say if I knock you down with a forward tilt. If I run up to you, if you have a habit of crossing up, that I believe that you have, this is where the belief system comes into play. If I believe that you have a rolling in or crossing up habit, I'm going to go like this. I go forward tilt, run up to you to make you believe you should roll in, and then I'm going to S smash the other direction. However, here's the catch to this call out. If I'm wrong, I'm still doing this because it's supposed to line up so that when you do your roll, you can't defend yourself. You can't get out of it because you committed to an option. I also committed to an option. We basically played rock, paper, scissors, and I was right. If you roll away, then you survive. What I'm going to do in the future from that point is, okay, he might try and air dodge behind me in that particular combo, but if I have him in a tech chase situation, he's going to roll to the wide side of the stage. So when I knock you down again, so if I knock you down this way, instead of doing this, because it's not going to work, most likely, since you have way more space to the left, I'm going to go for, I don't know, I'll go like this. If you roll away, I go for like a side B, and then I go like this. Right? I do something like that. And this goes on forever. This goes on infinitely, because just because you rolled out and I caught you once doesn't mean you're going to roll out forever, right? This is where your baseline belief system to say the average person does this comes into play. And if you're right, you get a reward. If you're wrong, you have to make adjustments. That's just what it is. If it was as black and white as I'm saying, where it's like, oh, if this person just does this and it's guaranteed, then there'd be no such thing as a pro player, right? Everyone would just be a professional programmer at that point, or coder, because it'd be guaranteed. But since you obviously have the ability to think and change your mind and be scared or be confident or be greedy or whatever it might be, it's going to sometimes change your decision making, of course, right? Depending on where how the game is going, depending on your percent, depending if I'm the better player, the worst player, the matchup, the stage, how much time's left on the clock. These can all dictate someone's decision making, right? If you're in the corner at 122%, and let's say I'm at 0 and you're getting absolutely destroyed, if you get up from the corner, very strong chance you're going to shield because you don't want to die. Not guaranteed. You might be an absolute mad lad and you just get up and F smash immediately, even though I'm at 0. But you're probably not going to do that because, like I said, the average person would shield. And then if I hit your shield, the average person would either jump or they would roll, right? If you're right here and I hit your shield, you're either going to jump or you're going to roll to get away from me because you believe that I'm in lag, which I am, a little bit of lag. You believe I'm in lag, so what's going to do this is your chance to take a favorable or an unfavorable animation from me and turn it into a positive situation for yourself. Get behind me, get the other side of the stage where safety is, right? Because you don't want to go off stage. Like I said too, I'll admit it's an ever-changing thing, and this is where experience comes into play. This is where playing thousands of people comes into play. This is shooting free throws since you were 11 years old until you're in the NBA. Like, this is just what it is. It's a lot of work, I'll admit. I'm not trying to like intimidate you or make it a daunting task, but that's why pros are pros. That's why you don't get to just pick up the controller and beat Tweak. And a lot of what makes a playstyle, I guess, optimal or unique or actually effective is having creativity within your playstyle. Being creative and saying, okay, this isn't a true combo, but I know that someone's going to, let's say, roll in. How can I optimize a roll in punish as Steve or as Falco or as anybody, right? I would say that's probably the next step. As far as if you have your combo game down, say, how do I know if someone's going to roll or going to jump or hold shield or whatever? Like,
Was that off a jump read? You do that because you saw me jumping, or you just because it's just true?
Oh, the combo I just did?
Yeah. I saw you finish it off, and I jumped away, and you still hit me with that fair.
No, I just went for fair. Right. I honestly just went for fair. And the reason why I went for fair, and it's just coverage, because if you jump, you get hit. If you air dodge like this, you have landing lag, in which case if I go like this and I miss, I just go to the ground and I go for a grab. The reason why I go for a grab in a situation like that is because if you air dodge like this, you're holding shield, and shield and air dodge are the same button. So we can also even play off of this. The average person who just air dodged is probably going to shield when they land, right? Because it's the same button. That's just what it is. So the mix up to that would be land like this, then immediately go for a jab, or land like this, and immediately like buffer a spot dodge, right? Or land like this, and then immediately like buffer a jump, right? The reason why people don't just jump or don't just try and fight back is because if you try and do that, if I just like go like this and you try to throw out a jab, even if we trade, you're gonna get hit by a way stronger move. Or if you jump, when you're on the ground with your landing leg, your jump might come out too slow and you might get off the ground a little bit, but I can still catch you with like an F smash, or I might do like a short hop back air and catch your jump. If you know what the average person is going to do, you should have pre-planned or pre-scripted combos or punishes or setups that revolve around what the average person would do. And if somebody proves to you that they're going to make a mix-up to that, it's actually better than what the average person would do, then you can respect their option and adjust.
Is there ways to like train? Because I've modded my Switch to like have DI and stuff. I have them set to like pre-recorded things where they'll jump in and I can practice certain scenarios. Yep. Is there ways that I can actually like effectively train something like this, or is it just me going into quick play and seeing how like other opponents do stuff?
Yes and no. I would say the yes part of it is, let's say if you want to practice your roll in punish, you can say, okay, at this percent, I know these moves knock somebody down, so I can get a tech chase situation guaranteed off of these moves. If I have them, let's say you want to set them up so they go into the corner, and you can simulate someone who would roll in, for example. You can now work on your spacing for whatever you want to try and do. You can work on your combo game at those certain percents off of a roll in punish, so you know how far someone's going to roll, so you know how far to walk forward or dash forward or jump forward or whatever you're going to do, and you can try and optimize it through that. As far as a real life experience, this has to be real life experience. It has to be someone that you're actually fighting to say, okay, the average person in this situation jumps or rolls or holds shield or whatever. And these are basic situations. Like a tech chase situation, the average person, I will say right now, the average person, if they get knocked into the corner, they're either going to do neutral get up If they're in the absolute corner, or if you run up to them, they're probably going to roll in. If they're in the middle of the stage and you knock them down, they're going to roll away from you. That's what the average person would do. The average person in the corner, if you hit their shield, they're going to jump. And you don't have to take my word for it, even though I guess you technically could or should, but because I just have experience. Like, I've coached so many players that say, if you do this, this is a habit that should be broken, right? And if you don't do this, let's say you have some sort of mix-up, it's like, okay, either this is a bad habit that let's say they do get up attack every single time, or they were aware of the fact that I was going to run at them and then, like, I don't know, try and go for a roll away punish, and get up attack beats a roll away punish. Because if I'm going to run and push you, then you just hit me. You could watch high level play or mid level play to see what these habits look like even more. I wouldn't try and study top level play for this, because top level players don't have these habits at all. That's why they're not the average player. Obviously, they're a top player. So if you're trying to, like, let's say, if you want to see what good Steve punishes look like, watch a top player. If you want to see what where you could land these good punishes, watch a mid level player who is fighting against Steve, I should say.
Yeah, I try to watch. There's two people I watch. There's a Rockman. Rockman, I don't know if you know about him, but he's got like he's got a lot of the punish game, a lot of stuff that I can watch, especially a lot of his VODs, like some of his MK Lego sets. I watched the one where he won and the one where he lost, and I was like, well, why did he lose in the first place? What kind of mistakes were he making? And then I go over to watch Yanni, and I see what kind of stuff he does, how he sets up sex scenarios, and I watch a lot of what he has. He just has a lot of these things down, and that's a majority of what I want to try to get down, which is obviously not something I can just hash out by sitting in training mode for like 50 hours until I get it down.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you can do a lot of hypothetical punishes, and you can have very good execution on your timing and spacing, like setting up TNT and know when it blows up on its own, or like the roll distance to put down the pad so that when people land on it, actually they get blown up from it as well. You can do all those types of things, but yeah, you have to get that real world experience. There's no way around that. It's like, I don't know, getting Rosetta Stone to learn how to speak Japanese, and then going to Japan and realizing I don't actually know how to freestyle speak to somebody fluently. I gotta pull out a book every time someone asks me anything, right? Because you haven't just been there. But if you've been there for a year and someone says, oh, do you know where the bathroom is? Or like, how's it going? Or like, whatever. You don't have to say, hold on a second, I don't know what you said. Can you repeat that, please? And like formulate a situation on the spot, and then hope that your response makes sense, right? You gotta just live it.
Mostly just being able to freestyle all of the stuff you can do off different scenarios is basically what I need to learn.
Yeah. As far as the freestyling portion of it, I'll admit that freestyling too, even if you're like someone who knows anything about like freestyle rap, I'll say with freestyle rapping, for example, someone who is a freestyle rapper knows hundreds of words that rhyme with whatever word they're trying to rhyme, but the word that they're going to be given on the spot, they might not know specifically. So let's say I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm not about to start rapping, so don't worry. But as far as, let's say the word they are given is pineapple or something that's like that. It's like, I've never actually used pineapple as a word in a sentence for rapping, but I know words that rhyme with pine. I know words that rhyme with apple, so I can freestyle about this thing, even though I've never actually been asked to do this.
Nice cube, Harry Mack, man, you know I'm a bad dude. Harry Mack on Instagram, check out the latitude. Add a K at the end, my friend, and then you will see me all up on the stage once again. Yeah, yo, and I even got the check mark. That's Henry Mack, it's Harry Mack, yo, that part. Hold up, it's HARRY. You can find me on Instagram, I'm a hard guy. Yeah, Harry Mack, lyrics sounded well writ. While I kick a freestyle, I teach you how to spell shit.
So as far as a tech chase situation, it's very, very unique. Or let's say you have certain blocks set up in a certain way, and the amount of time left on the blocks before they disappear is very thrown off, as far as you don't know how much time you actually have. You can still freestyle off of it and say, okay, if I get a weak hit of this, I know it sets up into a tech chase, and I've practiced tech chasing, so even though I don't know if I'm actually going to land what I'm trying to land, if I get the parallel universe or the other option as far as a strong hit or a weak hit, I know how to combo or do something off of both. Right? So even though you're not sure what you're going to get guaranteed in some cases, if spacing is off or someone's in like a weird tumble animation, they might be able to escape, or not escape, but they might give you like a weird hitbox or hurtbox. If you get like a weak hit, you can still punish them. If you get a strong hit, you can go for what you're trying to go for. That's the improvisation part of it, right? So if they throw you a curveball, you're still ready for it.
Those are the majority of the things I'm trying to think. I go into quick play a lot, and I'm like, all right, how's this guy playing? What can I do to stop him? And mostly just because I watched a couple of videos. I watched a couple of yours. I watched a couple of other people's, and most of what they say is you need to be aware of your own punish options and what would work against
Mm-hmm.
different characters, which is it is a lot to worry about.
Yeah.
It's a lot to worry about, especially about against other opponents like Pikachu, especially now because I have the Adamella of this guy has really good frame data and he has a thing that goes around my blocks, so I can't just get a free get away from projectile cards.
Yep. And also you're playing a character that has very hard punishes to even do in the first place if someone's literally just standing there. You're playing one of the much more technical characters in the game, period. Right? So your punish game is not only going to be much more extensive because you have so many more punishes that you could possibly do, but also the execution within each of those punishes is still very hard as well, as far as the timing of different attacks, the different tools that you have, the different knockback and frame data of each of these different tools, and of course playing around, like, let's say if you have the resources to even pull off what you're thinking.